Shalom, shalom. This Yair from GMS Savannah. Come with another little quick lesson. But first and foremost, I want to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem, Rikakwadash, and double honors to the apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone, which rule well and teach well, and to the Alkin, as well as the Philip in pushing this 100% truth out of the Bible in sincerity while risking their life to do so. And also to you hopeful elect of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as speckled bird that have the appearance of the heathens that look like the heathens, but their father seed lines go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And also is referred to as Israelite foreigners. But yeah, I'm just going into it, man, on this Texas governor. You know, man, he's another prideful Edomite, man. But like I say, man, the wrath going, you see what happened. You know, the Lord is not to be mocked, man. You know, I don't know who that is. That's a made up character in there, in front of him. But we know, you see the Son, you see the Father. And you know, Yahweh Shai is a so-called black man. You know, a man of color. You know, so you see him, you know, that's some made up BS right there. You know what I'm saying? They already know, you know, what, you know, the Heavenly Father and the Son look like. They already know, man. They not as silly as you think they are. You know, that's why you would say a real stupid thing that he said. You know? And like I say, you see how fast that the wrath of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai came over there in his state. But yeah, we're going to just listen to this right quick. Then we're going to, you know, hit another little video. Then we're going to hit some scriptures on it. You know, I'm not going to keep you long. You know, just quick, straight to the point. But listen to this devil.
That Governor Greg Abbott, who is the governor of Texas, he said that if God was an illegal, that they would deport him as well. There's no favoritism here.
Yeah, that's crazy. You hear that? These jokers are crazy out here, man. They are really, really trying Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. But it's all good, though, because we already know what happened 12 hours later. You know? But these jokers, man, they don't have no fear. But it's all good. They keep that energy. Because like I say, as we know, the Lord is speeding up the time out here, man. Sleazy time is running out. You know, the Lord out here handing out judgment, man. And it's more to come.
This is interesting because just about 12 hours after this, that's when the flood in Texas, Central Texas, happened. And so you might say, well, that's just a random coincidence. No, the reason why I don't believe it is because how can you deport God off of the earth that he created? That's for one. Two, it just seems like you're completely mocking him. How? That doesn't make sense to me. And then three, we have seen people who have mocked God in the past, and then the end result was never good for them. I'm not one of those people who say Texas got what it deserves, because it didn't. He should have gotten what he deserves. However, if this is God responding to what he said, the blood is on this man's hands. Because what do you mean you would deport God? Then people will say, well, like, God doesn't respond to anything anymore. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't do anything. And then when he does do something, it's like, oh my gosh, God, it's just like God can't win with simple-minded people. And so what really should have happened in this is that it should have just been directed at him. Seriously. Also, apparently, I don't know if he's to blame for this, but there were tremendous budget cuts due to anything weather related. And so they were missing like 5 different department heads that would have been able to detect this flood and to help people to get to safety and to help prepare people. However, they did budget cuts. And so there wasn't.
Yep, you see, hey, Job 9:24, the earth was given into the hands of the wicked. You know, this is no coincidence, man. Like I say, the Lord is on the right hand side. You know what I'm saying? These jokers are just destroying a lot of people, a lot of lives. You know.
Anybody really working? Now, we don't know if that's the exact cause of it, but does it all lead back to him? And essentially, after him, does it lead back to Trump and the Trump administration? So it's going.
Yeah, yeah, that's crazy. You know, it just doesn't make any sense at all. And you know, and like I say, judgments.
We do begin this hour with the desperate search for crews for survivors from that deadly flooding that swept through central Texas this past weekend. Officials say the flooding has killed more than 90 people. That includes at least 27 campers and counselors from the Christian girls camp, Camp Mystic, which sits along the Guadalupe River. About 40 people are still unaccounted for right now. And Texas Governor Greg Abbott said over the weekend, crews have rescued at least 850 people. And Florida is now saying it is sending its own teams to help out with those rescue efforts. We're also hearing from two brothers who survived the flooding at a different camp in Hunt, Texas.
We jumped up to another bed, like a top bunk, and like our bed starting tipping over, and like we got to the top really quick, and then we like this, and then like one of the walls like fall down.
And CBS News reporter Nydia Cavazos is in Kerrville. That's about 65 miles northwest of San Antonio. Nydia, very good to see you. At this point, there are still 10 girls and one counselor missing from Camp Mystic. What do search efforts look like for them, as well as the others that are still unaccounted for right now?
At this moment, the search and rescue efforts are still underway across Kern County and the surrounding counties, and this involves close to 19 state and local agencies that are on the ground. That involves agents, it involves volunteers. They're searching bodies of waters like the stream behind me. It involves volunteers on land, the use of helicopters, drones, and all of this is in efforts to find these missing girls that were part of the Christian camp and whose cabins were washed away with the rain and the unexpected and unprecedented storms here across the state of Texas. Now, what we're also seeing is that volunteers and some of these agencies are also having some troubles with the search that is underway because of, the weather was one of the factors. It hadn't stopped raining up until today. And so this eases things up for the searchers and the rescuers who are here on the ground at this moment.
Yeah, I was going to ask you a little bit more about that, Nydia. Of course, the threat from storms not over yet. As you mentioned, weather still a major concern. Can you talk to us about some of the weather conditions and other factors residents and crews are facing right now? What are they up against as they try to make their way to save more people?
Well, we heard from local officials earlier this morning, and they described some of those challenges. And first of all, we're talking about a stretch of land that is close to 100 kilometers. And so this is where you have volunteers and multiple agencies involved in the rescue efforts. And this stretches across different counties. And so there is a need for collaboration amongst the counties, amongst the state leaders here, and who are also working with their federal partners. Now, this is what we have on one hand, but on the other hand, now they're also asking for volunteers for help, but they're asking for...
As we all know, no one perish being innocent. This is judgment from Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. This is judgment from Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. No one perish being innocent. And the Lord is no respecter of person.
This should be streamlined with the Salvation Army to take care of these, of the shift of the coordination, because what they've also been running into is that many people have come out here to try and help, but in some instances, they've also gotten in the way of some of these operations that are ongoing. And so officials have highlighted that in the case that it continues to rain, which there is some rain in the forecast, they don't necessarily want to devote these resources to now having to rescue the volunteers who were trying to help out initially.
Yeah, very tough dynamic to thread there. Nydia, thank you very much for your reporting. We appreciate it.
If you were watching from far away, you might wonder if Texans...
Yeah, like I say, hey man, we're going to start right here, Hebrews 10 and 31. It's a fearful thing to fall in the hands of the living power of Yahweh. And yeah, and Ted Cruz said, yeah, God let this happen. Hey, of course he did. It's judgment. Whether he know it or not, it's definitely judgment. They know. They know it's nothing but a bunch of judgment going out, man, to the wicked. You know? And like they say, the wicked shall not go without being punished. Psalm 33 and 8. Let all the earth fear the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Let all the inhabitants of the world stand in awe of him. The power of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, man, take over all that water. You know, it destroys everything, man. You know, you can look and see how, you know, all these people, you can't find them. You know, all those people still missing, man. You know? And like I say, the Lord is powerful, man. He judging this place, man. The Lord is sick of Babylon the Great, man. The Lord is sick of this place, man. And that's why all these judgments are going out. You know? Like I say, let me see here. Just like, you know, with that governor, man, you know, Galatians 6 and 7, be not deceived. Yahweh, our power is not to be mocked. For whomsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. And like you say, after he said that, 12 hours later, hey, the flooding came, man. You know, like I say, the Lord kill him and make alive. You know, he bring it up and he put it down in the grave, paraphrasing. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is showing his power. You know, the Lord is showing his power here in Babylon the Great, man, and really all over the world. But you know, Babylon the Great, you know, we focusing on this place, man. You know, because, hey, this place got a lot of blood on their hands, man, Babylon the Great, man. And like I say, we see all the judgments are going out. It's only beginning. It's going to rev up. And the earth is spinning faster and faster. The days are getting shorter. You know, the hourglass is running out, man. Sleazy time is running out. You know? And like I say, the Lord is giving out judgments everywhere. And it's only the beginning. More and more are coming. Time is being sped up. You know, like I say, the hopeful elect, hey man, our prayers are being answered, man. You know, judgment coming on this place, man. You know, just a lot of stuff is going on. And you know, like I say, we just sit back and just see, man. And like I say, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai is all we got. You know, it's all we got, man. So this is just a lesson for the hopeful elect, man. The 2/3 just ain't gonna get it. You know? But like I say, the Lord is giving out judgments, man. He ain't playing. But like I say, boy, you wanna mock the supreme power of the universe? Man, I tell you, man, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai ain't playing. For sure. Ain't playing. So, you know, hey, just keep it up, Sleazy. Hey, more judgments to go out. Like they say, man, the Lord is no respect of persons. You know? You know, like I say, man, it's, hey, we just sit back, man, and just hey, doing what we need to do, and just seeing how everything is going down the drain here in Babylon, man. You know, but like I say, I just doing a little quick lesson on it. You know, hopefully edifying to the hopeful sheep and lamb, Quam Yasharala. On to the next lesson.